Ladies and gentlemen, rock fans all around the world, welcome to another episode of MPJ New Rock Album Reviews. To my decimated panel, but my beautiful panel, to William and to Trish today. Chris is on a cruise. Nathan, unfortunately, administration headache. Didn't get the albums. Thank you, sorry. And Simon is AWOL. Who knows where Simon is? Who knows? Because he's a... Who knows? Who knows? In a ditch somewhere.
Wildcard.
Blind drunk. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, who knows?
He's a wildcard, that man.
He's a rock and roll.
He's a wildcard.
No, I'm joking. He's not really. Okay, so today's show is two album reviews. We have Sprints, A Letter to Self, and Sleater-Kinney, and their album Little Road. Put them head to head. Which one would we buy? To get more than an average of 4 out of 5 from our votes. So get maybe into our Hall of Fame. Who knows? More importantly, if you like the show, hit that goddamn subscribe button! Anyway, let's start with Trish then and Sprints. Letter to Self. Who are they? God. What did you think? What style of music are they? Enlighten us, oh goddess of the rock world.
Oh my god. I mean, I'd never heard of them. I couldn't tell you who they are. The opening track, Ticking. Listening to it, I wish the track would tick along quicker than 3 minutes long, hearing about cutting my hair off and Am I Alive being repeated until halfway through the track. It then gave us something in music, but as an opener, this track did not entice me to want to listen to the album and ticked me off, to put it bluntly. For me, all I could think of while listening to this album was the band Wet Leg and how this sounds exactly like them. And unfortunately, I'm not a Wet Leg band lover of their music, so I could only manage one listen to this album. It just isn't my bag or brought anything to me. I'm not a lover of the whole talking, singing genre.
So, talking of Wet Leg, William.
You're not wrong. So, shockingly, this album and band are very much the anti-me music. It goes against everything I stand for in music. Not really a big fan of grunge. This is pretty grungy. Not the biggest fan of punk. It's quite punk in its lyrics, I think. It's like a weird grungy punk thing. And it's just not for me. And I'm a changed man, so I'm going to be nice and not say what I want to say, because I dislike it, but that is merely because it's not my kind of music, I'm afraid. I will be polite and leave it at that.
Oh, William, say what you feel. Let it out, William. Exercise your demons, my friend. Let them have it. Double barrel. But yeah, no, you're right. If it's not your cup of tea. Now, interestingly, when I first started to listen to or thought about when I first listened to this album, and it's all about, you know, different genres of music, bringing us to it, challenging us, let us have a look at different stuff. I was pretty much, I think, going to be on the same page as you, but there wasn't a huge amount out there, and I thought, well, why not? You know, it didn't sound too bad when I kind of listened to it. So my expectations were, when it goes into this more like self-talky punk rock, which is very much in this kind of genre in terms of that style of punk rock, I was not expected to like it. And I was really pleasantly surprised. And I'll tell you why it was pleasantly surprising. Because actually, in terms of the musicality of it, it was actually very melodic. And the problem normally with punk rock kind of music is it's incredibly chaotic. You know, the musicality, it's everywhere. This was not everywhere. It was actually very melodic. And actually her singing was very much in time with it, because sometimes talky stuff, and it wasn't full on talky really. It was that kind of style, but really not immersed into that full on talking stuff. It was singing talky type of thing, but I found it musically incredibly melodic, and that was very consistent right through the whole album. And so I listened to it again, and I liked it, and I listened to it again, and I still liked it. I thought actually her voice is very, very good. And the musicality is very. And I know I was talking to Simon, and he was actually tending to agree with me in terms of how melodic it was. And actually, I know he was kind of enjoying it as well. I actually ended up really liking this album, and I was not expecting to. Because I'm obviously not a fan of that, but I think this is a really good. I think it's a grower. Actually, if you try to listen to it again and again, it does grow on you because it's not like annoying talking, and I think it's quite melodic. You what? Sorry, Will?
I said it grows on you like a wart.
Yeah. Well, hey, warts could be your friend. You can talk to it at night. Anyway, I liked it. Okay, Sleater-Kinney, Little Rope. Now these are, I did a bit of research on Sleater-Kinney. They are a big kind of American indie kind of rock band, been around since the 90s, but I'd never heard of them. So, Trish, Little Rope, what do you think? Was it long enough rope to hang yourself, or short enough rope, little enough rope to just pull yourself up and enjoy?
Yeah. I'd not heard of them before again, and completely no idea what to expect. And if the Sprints is anything to go by that they've been put up against with in this battle, I have to admit I was scared as to what my ears were going to be exposed to. The opening track leads you to believe this is going to be a wistful, slow track, but it does crescendo to where guitars kick in and the tempo fastens and then it slows again. This album is very indie rock, which isn't my normal bag, but I really enjoyed the track Hunt You Down. I found this more listenable than its battle counterpart. The girls definitely have their own sound for this genre and are contenders in this genre up against the likes of The Strokes and Arcade Fire in their music sound. Listenable album, but not a keeper for me, as just not my style or gives me anything that I want from music.
William, did you enjoy this a little bit more than Sprints and Letter to Self?
I would say for me, enjoy is quite a bold term with this album. It's I don't like indie. I've said it a few times over my lifetime. It's just something about it I just can't really get behind. It's fine. Like they sing, they write lyrics, they play instruments, they sing well. For the most part, the instruments sound good. There are a few tracks where they have that, I don't know how to describe it. It's when they've got the weird like distortion on the guitar that makes it sound like it's not well produced, and that noise just really grains on me and really gets to me. And I find it really hard to listen when they have that like unproduced, weirdly sounding distorted guitar that shouldn't sound like that, but it does because it's how they've made it sound. I don't know. A more technically minded person could say what that sound is and why it does that, but for me, it's fine. It's inoffensive. I'm sure if you're an indie fan, you will absolutely love this album. I'm not an indie fan, and as such, have the opposite thought to that statement. Yeah, no, yeah, indie, innit?
You're really not liking your tea on these two reviews, are you? It really is not quite your cup of tea.
Not my cup.
Yeah, well, we like to drag you down dark paths on musicality wise.
You need to go for the bad to get to the good. That's what they say.
So I am a big indie rock fan. You know, we've done a lot of really good. This year, there just seems to be a dearth of really good indie. Dearth's not probably the right word, but there's a lot of indie rock bands that normally come out in the summer, but they seem to have launched earlier in the year, the likes of the Struts and so forth as well, the Vaccines and at first listen, I absolutely loved this album, but on the second, third, and fourth listens, I kind of like it waned on me a little bit. I thought it was a little bit too generic and not really kind of up there. But there's some really cool tracks on it. But equally, then I don't think I ended up putting any on my playlist because normally I wait, on the third listen before I added anything to the kind of my playlist, and nothing really cut it, and so it became a more forgettable indie rock album. It was solid, it was good, it was okay, it was kind of enjoyable, but it wasn't quite the stayer for me, really. In that perspective, I think this year in particular, I think we've heard a lot better in that sort of genre. Will hasn't, because they've been other people reviewing them. But in terms of our library, I think you'll be surprised that there'll be a few in the top 20 this year. Okay, so let's find out what we thought then. Which album? Well, I think we know which album we. Well, who knows? Who knows? Trish, then, Sprints.
I gave it 1 point, and that is purely to acknowledge the fact that they can play instruments.
And Sleater-Kinney.
2.
2? Wow. So Sleater-Kinney wins out. Will?
We rank these albums for our musical pleasure on nothing else. And as I got no pleasure from this album, I am unable to give it a point, I'm afraid.
Oh, harsh. And Sleater-Kinney.
They play instruments better and sing better. One very generous.
Oh,
one,
my word.
I'd say,
well, Chris
they feel pretty blessed.
Oh, bless them. Chris did not like Sprints. He also gave it a 1. And Sleater-Kinney, he gave a 3.52. So he obviously reasonably enjoyed. I actually really enjoyed the Sprints. I give it a 4. Yeah, I did genuinely. I wasn't expecting to, but I actually really did enjoy it, and I was very happy to go back and listen to it again and again a couple of more times actually. And I think I would listen to it again. Sleater-Kinney gave a 3.52. So obviously in terms of the battle, Sleater-Kinney win it. Sprints are currently on a 6, which is 1.5 or something like that, which is not the worst album in the world, but who knows, maybe when Simon surfaces that might go up a little bit, but certainly you're going to get to a Hall of Fame. And Little Rogue 5.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 10, which is dead on average with 4 votes at out of 20. It's 2.5. So Sleater-Kinney win the Battle of Our Bands. Sorry to them if they listen to this. It's not. It's just not quite the genre for the people that I've elected for this to listen to this month. So anyway, lovers, haters, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. Why not? Hey, why not? And thank you very much to William and to Trish, to my god and goddesses of the rock show, my faithful stayers, and keep on rocking. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.